I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, CME Computer and IT Solutions.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 4 a.m. on Saturday in London. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, and it almost wasn't because we just kind of slid in here because we were at an event all day. Thank you so much for being here. We created a new playlist for you. I saw a video and I thought it was just so exceptional. I wanted to curate a list of them for you. So it is on our channel under playlists, and it's this bright green. It is currently in the first position. I think it changes eventually, but I think you're going to really enjoy that particular one. And I think we're going to put, Anton's fabulous. We've seen a lot of other ones, but boy, that was just so good. And I didn't even know about this person. Did you?
Which person?
He did the one about the fireflies, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
I was really good. Anyway, I recommend that very highly. So anyway, you wanted to, well, let's talk to her. We got some
Yeah, here.
audience people now.
So, hang on. Okay.
You just have to flash
there we
it.
go.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jane. We have technical things. Hi, Janie. Happy Friday to you. Long time no see.
Yeah, like
just all
an
day,
hour or so, yeah.
All day at this event we were at. Yeah. And Dawn, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate both of you as an audience. So, yeah, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. Just in some cybersecurity news, I think I've hit on this. Windows 10 goes away in October. Well, it doesn't go away actually, but they will stop supporting it, which means that it might become more and more vulnerable to malware as people find problems with it and they don't update it. So now is getting toward the end of the time when I would switch to Windows 11. If your computer will take Windows 11, it's a simple update. You just have to let it. If it will not take Windows 11, your only real choice is to buy a new computer. Now there is a way around that, but it's not really viable for most people because the main difference between Windows 10 and Windows 11 is that for Windows 11, the installer requires a certain chip on either the CPU or the motherboard. No, Windows 11 doesn't require it. Windows 10 will use that security chip if it's available, but doesn't require it. Windows 11, apparently, if you bypass the installer, you can put it on any machine. I've had it on even 12-year-old machines.
Oh, wow.
Machines that are iffy for Windows 10. But if Windows 10's on them, you can put Windows 11 on it by bypassing the installer and it runs just fine. The trouble is that any feature update won't happen because it uses the installer to install the feature update. And so it's not that it can't, it will just refuse to. And which is kind of annoying because when they came out with Windows 10, they said it's the last version of Windows that we'll ever make. And by requiring you to go to Windows 11, they're showing that they lied, which means that, take that into account whenever you hear anything from Microsoft.
Yeah, I think they're going to have new additions constantly.
Well, I've seen a preview for Windows 12.
There you go. How about you look at the calendar and see about doing a whole episode on this a little closer to the time, have some real good, step-by-steps maybe, or...
Well, heck, I'll even screenshot
like
a second gen computer. By the way, that means that it's about 12 to 13 years old. And they will only install 11 reliably on a 10th gen, although some of the earlier ones that have the right chip can actually do it.
Okay.
But I'll take a screenshot of Windows 11 installed on a second gen. And
yeah, it sounds like a whole episode, a little closer to the time maybe.
Yeah.
So that'll be, I think, useful for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to do this part next?
Sure. Tonight, we're going to do spacer news. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. There's a link to that book in the description. I almost said it the other way again. Sometimes we do something spontaneous. We visit a search engine, put in space exploration, and choose news and see what we get. We thought we'd roll the dice this week. We can see what shows up. There are plenty of other places out there for news, and I don't know of any others that show you how to participate in space exploration yourself.
Yeah, we're not really a news show because there's a lot of that out there. We really want to show you how to do stuff, and this kind of is doing things, and I kind of have three things in mind for this episode. The first one is to demonstrate the doing of it, also to discuss various search engines. We'll do a little comparing and contrasting, very scientific, and then if we find something interesting and we want to discuss that particular news item, I was thinking that would be a good way to go too.
I just basically pulled up the top 10 news search engines, and I figured that gives me a list of 10 search engines to try, and so that's what I did.
Okay, I only have two things.
And
try to hit the button in the corner that bigifies it. Up. Nope. Yep. On the. Nope.
I don't.
It's the. I don't know what you call it. It's the box. It'll expand it and the whole. Nope, not that one.
Okay.
It's on the browser. Up here. Wait, where's your mouse? I don't see your cursor. Right there.
Oh, that one.
Because I think that's how you get rid of that. Because we freeze.
Yeah.
We freeze upon occasion. As in, we see that, but I don't think you do.
Okay.
So every time I get that, I hit that.
Okay.
All right. So you want to go ahead and share mine? Because
yep.
I think this is a really great search engine per se. And I actually put in space exploration with a space after it. If you don't do it, you get just one less items to look for. But yeah, if you're looking for space exploration, and of course you're going to want to check on the dates of the publication, that kind of thing. But I really think this could be a good source of information for you. Not exactly news though, so I'm going to go to, and this is the search engine that I used a lot because I was getting paid to use it. So I was using it. I'm not really getting paid to use it right now, but I can still use it. There is one major drawback to this thing, though. If I do enough searches in a day, it kind of stops bringing me any more results. It just shows a blank here. You see where all the text is in through here. It just shows up blank, and over again, I can try and get to something, but I just can't. And you may have actually seen that in previous episodes. So we got a couple things here. What looks good, people? 10 worst accidents. That doesn't sound like news. Olivia Munn questions the purpose of Blue Origin space flight with Katy Perry. That's kind of interesting. Maybe. Solar cells made of moon dust.
Just sounds like gossip.
The Hollywood Reporter.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Solar cells made of moon dust could power future space exploration. I'm gonna.
That was yesterday.
Oh, it was.
But hey,
it's not that old. So.
Yep.
Scientists send beans into orbit. It made space miso. Here's how it tasted. Well, that might be kind of fun. I don't know if I call it news exactly, but Star Seeker Astroneer Expeditions brings co-op Space Adventures to Nintendo Switch 2. I think that's a gaming thing, right? All right, I'm not that interested in that. It sounds like we've got that. Oh, and then hit U.S. News Today. Again, another video one. New space economy. Here we go. What business leaders need to know. Now that sounds interesting.
From about a week ago. So yeah, that's still pretty recent.
Huh. You think news is going to be like today.
Right. No. But
not necessarily, apparently. Maybe your search engines will be different.
Yeah, because I found a list of 10. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't got there yet. Another video one. Oh, wait, I passed that one. All right. Researchers turn. That's the same one, it sounds like, but from a different. And it might actually be the same article.
It probably is, just reported on a different site.
Oh, here we go. Rescued astronauts share first reactions to hearing they would stay in space longer than it. That's not really news.
Huh. But I guess someone interviewed them recently. And...
Okay. All right. Well, I'm a little more, like you said, I'm a little more interested in this one. You pointed this out a second ago. Crypto billionaire and 3 private astronauts launched to space. than the Chundering began? What's that mean? I'm going to go ahead and look. All right. Interestingly enough, these all seem to be MS, whatever it is. What is this? MSN.com. All right. So that's like 4 things. I think we can look at those quick. And they're backwards now, of course. Nope, we can't do it with that MSN. Notice you don't have the little icon in the bar so that you can remove all of these ads. MSN does not care for that particular aspect. And now I can't see it. Look at this. Isn't that wild?
There you go.
All right, now it goes, but see, I can't get to the whole.
Yeah, just keep scrolling.
Yeah. See, I wonder what that word is, chundering. All right, so they got a nice launch picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Cliff.
Hey, Cliff. Welcome.
And the sun is out for the first time in 2 months.
Woo!
For the rest of the week.
Don't
nice.
buy anything.
Yeah. Use the equipment you have, Cliff.
Use it quick. So they're talking about the 4 astronauts were launched. Okay. Oh, pole-to-pole orbit. Oh, I didn't realize they had people on that. But
yeah.
Okay, that's not been done by humans before, but judging by the reports, one of the private astronauts, their time and space didn't get off to a great start. Well, about 50% of the people that do go up, we've heard before, do experience what they call space sickness. It's just, I think it's an adapting thing, right? The body has to adapt to a different.
Well, your inner ear is not set up for 0G.
Oh, it's an inner ear thing? I thought it was a tummy thing.
It could be stomach from, lack of gravity pushing down on things. But I've also heard inner ear.
So I don't know if this is going to be true for this, but sometimes you see this.
Oh.
Continue reading.
That's where the word chundering comes from. It was funded by cryptocurrency billionaire Chun Wang. So chundering.
Oh, boy.
I'm pretty sure that's where they got that word.
Okay. So it was a dragon. Okay. Crew. Oh, that's really cool, though. They're going to explore the polar orbit for, do they say how long? They've got 22 experiments. That's cool. Designed to help advance humanity's capabilities for long-duration space exploration and understanding of human health in space. So this is something you could do if you have a particular interest in things. Do a little digging just with your search engine. The first few hours of microgravity weren't exactly comfortable. I guess it takes some people 1 to 2 days to get over the. Mm-hmm. Well, now they say here it's space motion sickness hit everyone. Oh, interesting. All right, we felt nauseous and ended up. There we go. A couple of times felt different from motion sickness in a car or at sea. I wonder if the folks that are motion sick on Earth will have the same kind of trouble up in space.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. You could still read on your iPad without making it worse, but even a small sip of water could upset your stomach and trigger. I don't want to say that. It just doesn't feel good. All right, so let's see. Not a lot got done on the first day. Well, that's reasonable. And I guess this is one of the people, Rabia Raji, ham radio making contact with Berlin. That's cool.
Here we go.
Yes.
Just that. Chunder means vomiting.
I did not know that.
So I guess they're making a play on the name with that and.
Okay.
Oh, and Cliff says pole to pole will be different in many ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta. Yep, there you go. This whole new system, things are just different. I don't know if it's the new computers or
if they changed something on StreamYard.
I don't know. All right, so let's see. I would say if you want to read about that, go ahead, because I got a bunch more, and Jeff has a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead with this. The new space economy. What business leaders need to know. This is particularly interesting to me. So this is a 4-minute read. I don't think I'll go through all of this either. Again, MSN, we cannot get rid of the ads. The private sector is revolutionizing space exploration. Here's how forward-thinking companies can capitalize on this cosmic shift. All right, so let's see if we can get the gist of it here real quick. Revival of space exploration and private sector growth. Well, I'd say it's the first time we've had real private sector anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now sometimes you're going to hit something like this, and this is just exactly how it looks, except they'll say you got to pay to read it. But this one isn't that way. It's just
No, MSN doesn't have a paywall.
No paywall here. Okay. Let's see. Interest. Anything real quick stand out here to you, Jeff?
No, but this will be a good article to read if they have stuff.
Yeah, SpaceX in particular is known for cost efficiency and speed factors that are likely to move space exploration forward faster than they would otherwise.
Oh, and there's an Isaac Arthur space colonies from outposts to cities.
That could be interesting.
Oh,
I don't think it has anything to do with this article, though, does it?
Well, that could be Curiosity Stream. He has a whole channel on Curiosity Stream.
Oh.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. The financial impact of this growth is substantial. And I would say that there's going to be some things that would be worthy of looking into if you are interested in investing. Global space economy will be worth $3 trillion by 2035. That's only 10 years. This is an impressive increase from $630 billion in 2030, an average yearly growth rate of 9%. Overall, this means the space sector will play a greater role in the global economy. This growth is driven by new technologies, including timing, navigation, and Earth observation services. All right. Because a lot of the commercial space was involved with, like, beaming signals around.
Right, yeah.
But that has changed a lot in the last few years.
All
right.
George O. Smith pretty much figured that out, except that he didn't realize that you could have an unmanned vehicle in space for the beaming of the signal. So he had manned stuff up there.
Okay. All right. Scientists sent beans into orbit and made space miso. Here's how it tasted.
Oh, you got someone new.
Kind of fun, but
Naomi.
Hey, Naomi, welcome back.
Hi.
So let's see. Japanese cuisine wouldn't be the same without miso. True. But astronauts, wanting to use fermented soybean staple, the fermented soybean staple in space, one day might have to get used to a difference in taste. Well, there might be ways around that, because I know, and I'll just give you an example. Dawn uses something that tastes just like soy sauce, but it is not soy sauce. It's something amino. I don't know what. You got another comment?
Oh, yeah. Space miso sounds fun.
Yes, it does. So an experiment on board International Space Station, ISS, has produced miso paste, thought to be the first food deliberately fermented outside Earth, a feat that scientists hope will shed light on the potential for life to exist in space. Okay. That's a weird
I'm just wondering.
connection.
I'm just, here's my thought.
Here we go.
How are they defining food?
Okay.
They've had Russians in space for a very long time. And they're saying that this is the first
but they're fermented.
food fermented.
Oh, they probably had drink, right?
Okay.
They're Russians.
I mean, heck, even some of our guys would have done it if they could get away with it. But, I mean, wouldn't they? I mean, heck, I'll ask you guys, wouldn't you?
Well, especially if you're stuck up there. Wasn't the one guy stuck for like a year? His whole country was transforming. So let's see. The comment is the space miso had a similar umami or savoriness to miso made on Earth, but according to the researchers who sampled it, there was a key difference: a stronger roasted and nutty flavor. Isn't that interesting? Because I know for one of the things about food that you get on an airplane, because your taste buds change some, it's stronger flavors, I think, right?
Well, no, they actually have to use stronger spices in airplane food.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you lose your sense of taste.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I think part of it, a small part of it, is the lower pressure, but a good chunk of it, I think, is by the drier air that they usually have in an aircraft.
So your nose is a big factor in tasting things, and maybe it's not operating as efficiently in a drier environment.
And
they have to do
and I have heard that in microgravity, the astronauts do report that tastes change. Things taste different.
Okay, I think it's kind of nice though in this case that it might be like they say a stronger roasted and nutty flavor. That sounds kind of good to me.
Yeah.
You might want to adjust this because if we have comments, I can't see them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, here we
Yeah,
go.
I thought we might.
Yeah, Cliff says, yeah, they love hot sauce and anything hot and spicy. Yep.
Is that the Russians or because of taste
No,
buds?
just taste bud stuff, I
Okay.
think. Moonshine.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, I see what you did there.
And Cliff, yeah, the Great Escape was that they made. Yeah. Well, in fact, there was a short story, and I don't remember who wrote it, but it was in the Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke era, where they actually used beer as a thruster.
Okay.
Because the transport engines got whacked,
Okay.
and so he strapped just enough together to hold the beer containers and him, and basically thrust his way toward the moon where it could be picked up by someone because he was outside of the range of anyone to come get.
I see. So here, scientists Maggie Koblenz from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Joshua Evans from the Technical University of Denmark, because why not have scientists do this instead of, oh, I don't know, chefs, culinary experts?
And what I get here is, you notice neither of those two are Japanese. Then they're making miso.
Yeah, okay. At least our names don't say that. So they sent a small container of cooked soybean paste to the ISS in March of 2020, where it was left to ferment for 30 days before returning to Earth as miso. Oh, did they not even taste it in space? I'm thinking they're tasting it in space.
No, yeah, that sucks.
That's wild. Okay, so they set it up and it fermented in there in microgravity environment, and then they came back and then they tasted it. Okay, I think they should have done both.
Yep.
Especially make one batch, keep some on Earth, send some up, and basically do tasting it there and maybe swap it and both parties taste it in both locations.
Maybe they didn't want the carbon dioxide release of fermenting something released on the space station.
Because with it would go little particles, right?
Yeah.
And that might be a problem.
Yeah.
In a space station. All right, so it was kept in a container with sensors. All right. They closely monitored the temperature, relative humidity, pressure, and radiation, according to the peer-reviewed paper, that's important, released in the journal iScience on Wednesday. This is fascinating. You're thinking, it's not that big a deal, but boy, oh boy, I think this is one of the more interesting ones we've come across so far. As part of the experiment, 2 other miso batches were fermented on Earth for comparison, one in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in the U.S., and the other in Copenhagen, Denmark. Well, they should have had the same, how do they say for sourdough? The same starter batch.
Well, they might have. They don't
think.
say that they didn't do that.
No, but they said they were fermented on Earth.
Well, yeah,
in
basically.
Cambridge and
it might have been the same batch of beans that they split in 3.
Maybe, yeah. But does other things affect it? I'm not sure.
Well, and that's what they were testing for.
Yeah. We didn't know what to expect. Fermentation had never been done before in space that anybody's reporting.
Yes.
All right, so this was darker, clearly more jostled. Interesting. As it had traveled much more than either of the Earth misos. It was exciting to smell and taste the first bite. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could eat miso directly. I thought it was something you put in, with soup.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so let's see. Oh, and this might be why it's so interesting. You bring together microbiology, flavor chemistry, sensory science, and larger social and cultural considerations. Our study opens up new directions to explore how life changes when it travels to new environments like space. I guess that is a life thing, right? Fermentation is a microbe. It must be a microbe.
Yeah.
That basically grows.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you read the rest of that article because I got one more. Do we get another count?
No. Oh,
I thought, I thought that
Cliff
was.
said, if they can make booze in space, I'll go.
All right. That you
And
never know.
Naomi says, seems on Earth the fermentation process for miso takes 9 months.
9 months.
Sometimes even a year. I was just Googling this.
Well, thank you very much. That is interesting.
Yeah.
So 30 days might not be a great test.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying that they probably did it for the same amount of time on all three. It's just
right.
that,
But is it ready to eat in 30 days?
Yeah.
As opposed to 9 months.
Maybe it'd be like fresh spoo.
Okay.
Sorry, we're rewatching Babylon 5.
Yeah. It's so interesting. All right. Solar cells made of moon dust could power future space exploration. There's actually a friend of mine who's done a lot of different things on. Well, they call it. Let's see. So lunar regolith is basically the dirt, but you can recreate it here on Earth. What is that? An analog? A moon regolith analog. And so my friend has painted with it and like build bricks with it and stuff. It's actually pretty fascinating what in fact you can do with this lunar regolith. You got a comment, right?
No, I was just changing aspects of it.
Okay.
So
all right.
It would update.
I thought it was a new one.
No.
All right. So let's see. That's kind of an interesting image.
This isn't a new thought because they've been planning on doing it this way for a long time. So I wonder why this is news now. Oh.
Yeah, we're getting it.
Cliff says Worcestershire sauce is fermented for some time or it's crap. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And there's probably kind of a sweet spot. I know like with the wine that's made out of grapes, if it goes too long, it's no longer really viable. It's not really wine anymore.
Yeah.
But it would wine.
All of these fermented foods, it basically they're found because it was moldy and rotten, but someone decided to eat it anyway and
they lived.
Hey, this actually tastes pretty good.
And they lived. It's very weird to sort of theorize how it came about to, like, how would we ever eat tapioca? But we do, because it's poison. The root is poison, but we eat tapioca. All right, so the same dirt that clings to astronauts' boots may one day keep their lights on. This was published in a place called Device, I guess a magazine or something. Researchers created solar cells made out of, there it is, simulated moon dust. The cells converted sunlight into energy efficiently, withstand radiation damage, and mitigate the need for transporting heavy materials into space. Yeah, I mean, think of any time people go to a new place, they don't take all their dirt with them. They don't take all their houses with them. They take their tools, and they use what's there, in situ is the term you might hear, and they do with what they've got. So yeah, I mean, think about some of the 3D printing of buildings we've seen on some places, and maybe you haven't, but yeah, they've taken these big, huge machines and built like a house out of kind of a concrete that pours out like they were printing on a 3D printer in the usual manner. All right, so it's a big challenge is reliable energy sources. So if we can make it out of lunar regolith, that's great. They're amazing, reaching efficiencies of 30% to even 40%. Oh, that comes with the price, they say. They're very expensive, and they're relatively heavy because they use glass or thick foil cover. It's hard to justify lifting all these cells into space. Cool. Instead of hauling solar cells from Earth, Lang's team is looking at materials available on the moon itself. They aim to replace Earth-made glass with glass crafted from lunar regolith.
Oh, okay. So they're still planning on using the rare earths that are actually used in the Matrix.
Okay.
They're just taking
glass would be a big change, a big difference.
Yeah, they're saying 99.
Wow.
99% of the transport cost. So that's
okay. They melt a substance designed to simulate moon dust into moon glass and use it to build a new kind of solar cell. I have it here. Regolith, moon glass, Perovsky moon solar cell. Wow, this is really interesting. I think you should go read this. All right, Jeff, what do you got for us?
Okay. Here, let's remove this.
Yeah, we gotta change it over now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just because I was wondering, hey, what would the different search engines have to say about this. Oh, Cliff says
Yeah.
something.
So Cliff has a comment. Prisoners used to make good taste testers. Some made it, some didn't. Oh boy.
So
He's talking about the Worcestershire sauce.
So
okay.
I decided to look at different search engines to see what they would give us. Just because, the thought was, let's have a couple of search engines here. So instead of a couple,
again, yay.
Instead of a couple, let's take, someone's list of the top 10. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's just 10. So, and there's a bunch of them on there that I've used. So we do the standard Google, space exploration, phys.org, which, yes, of course, they're the ones who did this study, or they reported it. Again, the Fram mission reaches polar orbit. That's not the impressive part. So that could be interesting. Olivia Munn, again, has the Rolling Stone, has the...
And you're on Google, okay.
This was Google.
I kind of thought Google was very, very similar to the one that I used to get paid for, the inbox dollars.
Yeah. Unrecognizable after 300 days in space. These astronauts' shocking transformation sends the world upon. Well, that's very clickbaity. Yeah. Well, because
what's it from?
We did
sustainability.
Yeah. Yeah. But the twins one. One of the twins went up, and he did look different simply because
I think the twin that was up was slightly taller, right?
Well, yeah, but also because the fluids in his body kind of drifted up into his face, so it made his face look puffier.
But that would change after he's back on Earth, right?
Oh, the Shell Nichols Space Camp to open January 2026.
Oh, very cool. That's different.
Yep. Mega Rock, the British manned space program that almost was.
Mega Rock.
Yeah, 1946 proposed. Based on V2 rockets.
Wow.
Could have put a human in space before Yuri Gagarin, but it was never funded.
Okay.
Yep.
Willpower and money.
Yep. And then here's a computer one, AI in space operations, opportunities and challenges. Yeah. I mean, you really don't. A lot of issues with AI is that they make up stuff to meet parameters. Yeah, you probably don't want that. But so that's a Google search. That's the one that most people see. And there's some other ones here. Trump's pick for NASA chief. NASA's Artemis 2 astronauts. Biotech is the launch pad for human survival in space.
And that's a specific news about NASA, it says.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's almost a
subset of the news.
Insert in there. Yeah. Would that be an ad, you think, maybe? Or
no, I think it's just they're trying to Google tries to give you relevant stuff. So if I searched for space exploration news, they probably figure, well, who has the most news about space? It'd be NASA.
Yeah, NASA. That's a hell of a brand, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so looking at Bing because
Bing.
Why not? Okay.
I've never really used that one.
First three things up here are all different, gossip sources that have that have the same gossip article.
Olivia Munn. Never even heard of her before this.
Yeah. Well,
but that's what you learn when you do some research and digging into things.
10 worst accidents. Apparently, that's.
How is that news? I don't get that.
Solar cells. So this is looking very similar to the one that you had.
The Space Miso. Yeah.
Star Seeker Astroneer Expeditions brings
it's a game.
Space. Oh, okay.
That's a game. Oh. See, it's very similar to what I was finding.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. So it looks like what you were looking at probably runs off of Bing.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is telling me because
all right.
These are looking the same.
Yep. There's this Miso again.
Mm-hmm.
And how many do they give you? And a lot of these sites return like 10 different line items of things.
Bing gives you lots.
Yeah, it looks like quite a bit more than 10.
They get less relevant as you go on, but
yeah.
Okay, so there's Bing. That looks a lot like your inbox dollars, so I suspect that inbox dollars runs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, here's Yahoo.
Yahoo's still around. Wow.
Okay.
Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn. Moon dust into solar panels. This time it picks Popular Science of having reported this instead of phys.org. I'd rather read the phys.org one.
Oh, Popular Science.
Yeah, it's
They
good.
can be good. They can be
It's good, but phys.org is not going to have any of the fluff.
Yeah, they got a tardigrade thing.
Oh, yeah. Want to know how to survive in space? Ask a tardigrade.
Yes.
Don't think I want to do that. Not the asking part, because for one thing, it's hard to
I don't
talk
think you
to
get
one.
an answer.
Yeah. So, but Yahoo has mostly, it has a couple of real news articles and mostly gossip stuff. Yeah. Here is Yandex.
I've never heard of that one.
I've heard of it, but I've never actually used it. So, space news. Okay, it just gives us generic spacenews.com, Google News, space exploration. So this looks like an aggregator.
I was gonna say, is that more like an aggregator?
Yeah, I've never used it before, so it looks like it is. So
okay,
it might be a good way of finding sources of news. So yandex.com.
And maybe when we do our research on any other shows, we could kind of look there too.
Yeah.
That's useful.
And if you don't want either Microsoft or Google getting your search history, DuckDuckGo. Now, here are some similar ones, but SA, Seeking Alpha, so I don't know what that site is, but that looks like a MSN
with the
symbol.
little,
Yeah. But SA asks, which stocks are attractive right now? Well, okay, I don't see how that.
Oh, space. It does say space stocks.
Yeah. So that might be interesting, I suppose, if you're, Fram2.
Yeah, like what are you into? If you're into that kind of thing,
yeah,
it might be worth reading.
Yeah. Moon dust again. Rescued astronauts. Which your thing had that. The game. Major space missions to watch in 2025. So that could be good. As it gives you.
That's that same person.
First German woman in space.
Oh, she's German. That's interesting.
Crypto billionaire and 3 private astronauts. So it's more about that.
Yeah, it's very similar to what I was finding.
Seems like they have more sources of articles, than you had, but that's the same topics.
Yeah.
NASA faces cuts. China reveals ambitious plan for planetary exploration. Yeah. Let's see if those actually come to pass or if they're just making headlines.
Yeah. I don't know. They talk about the millions they're going to invest, and I'm thinking, well, it takes more than that. But we'll see.
NASA looks to Connecticut manufacturers to join space projects.
Interesting.
Well, because Connecticut's small, and their senators have, they can make 2 senators happy with a very small location.
Got it. So Daniel comes. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. In space, no one can hear your trade deficit.
Yeah.
We don't really have trade in space yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe someday.
An article on Earth space junk problem. Even worse in 2024.
Oh, I actually saw something about the Japanese lasering it from Earth. Set up a laser from Earth to zap the stuff in space. It's an interesting idea.
Well, if they're just trying to change its velocity so that they can possibly slow it down so that it comes down, good idea. If they're just making it into smaller parts that
you don't think they're going to vaporize it? Isn't that what that's about?
Yeah,
lasering it to vaporize. I don't know.
You'd have to keep the laser on it for a very long time and track it.
Oh.
Also,
depends on how the size of it, right?
What's vapor once it condenses again? Small particles.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't.
You think a laser can slow it down?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you just,
I can see it pushing it out.
Well, yeah, but if you hit the leading edge, it would slow it down.
All right.
Yeah. So
I may have to look into that some more.
Yeah. SpaceX's Crew 11. It's the whole 10 images by NASA that the future of space exploration.
That
could
sounds
be
interesting.
Sky Shorts Hubble marks 35 years in space.
Not exactly news.
No.
It's been there for 35 years.
Well,
that's a long time. 35 years.
But the article was written 6 days ago, so that's why it popped up.
But Hubble's been in space for 35 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Solar system news from Space Daily. I know who that. I know those guys. Europe's first ever commercial space rocket successfully explodes in Norway.
Excuse me? Was that what they were after? Did they want it to explode?
Okay. No, I think they're just being a bit cheeky with it.
Was that April 1st?
No. 5 days ago?
Yeah, it was.
No, that was 30th.
Maybe 31st. Over there. It's late here. So
yeah.
It may be 5 days ago.
Yeah. But they say it exploded after 30 seconds after launch. So.
But Norway, I don't think they've launched anything. What did they launch? Let's pull that one up. Let's see that. I think it's April Fool's. I want to read that. Does it say, 31st of March?
Yeah.
Interesting. They actually launched something from Norway?
Yeah.
Okay. A new contender in the space race.
Well,
cool.
For fireworks, 30 seconds.
It's just a strange way of putting that. It successfully exploded in space. Okay.
That's why I was saying it was a bit of a cheeky way of doing it.
I suppose it's a little better than we've had an anomaly. If you know, you know.
Okay, so they've got more.
Yeah, it didn't go far in Norway, Cliff said. Yeah. I hadn't even heard about it, so. Yeah, doing this every now and again is kind of useful.
Here's Internet Archive.
Wow.
Now, this is news, space exploration news. Now, this is archiving, I guess, news stations that talk about space exploration.
Okay.
Which,
I mean, just the word archive doesn't make me think news.
Well, the Internet Archive, yeah, it basically because they archive everything, including current stuff.
Interesting.
So
that could be useful, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dawn says the launch was a maiden flight. I have no idea what's successful about it. Well, I suppose it depends on what you're going for. If they wanted to test out their system for, I mean, they're all supposed to have some means of destroying it if it's going to endanger lives. There's a bunch of reasons.
Okay, yeah. If they weren't just being cheeky about it, and I think they were even a little bit, it might have flown off course, and their safety feature of blowing it up worked.
Yeah, you've got to be able to do that. That's like a basic thing.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's, probably someone just being cheeky.
But it got us to look at it. So made you look.
Okay, here's Baidu, which I'm going to bypass because it's a Chinese one, and it's in freaking Chinese. So
can't read that, but if you can read Chinese.
Now, one of these up here
may say translate.
Yeah, may say translate, but it says it in Chinese. So.
Ooh, it got past the tower. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, space rockets are hard.
Right. Yeah.
No question about it. Rockets are hard.
We blew up a bunch.
Oh,
working on ours.
That was like the Germans that came here that did it for anyway. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, do what you did for Germany, but make it bigger. Okay, kablooey. Although they didn't quite have the rocket equation down the first few times, and it didn't have enough thrust to actually clear the tower. It would just go up, come back down.
Oh, this is good to hear. It was supposed to fly. Scott Manley has a great video worth watching.
Okay.
Thank you for the recommendation, Don. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. And so anyone who remembers ask.com.
Oh my goodness.
And their ads,
it's still around. Ask Jeeves?
Well, no, that's something else.
Jeeves.
Ask.com is something else. But,
oh, okay. Because it's got the same kind of logo thing.
Yeah. But.
Oh. Once a rocket starts wobbling, have they ever unwobbled?
Probably not.
Seems unlikely.
Yep. So.
If you had someone to be able to guide it back, maybe, or a very, very, very sophisticated onboard computer or something. Maybe AI could do it eventually. I don't know. That's a great question, Daniel. You ask a lot of great questions. Thank you for that. And I have no idea, but maybe somebody out there does.
Yeah, Daniel. they do unwobble once you blow them up.
Then this all
And the
wobbly.
wobble's gone.
Wobble's gone.
So ask.com is not necessarily great for news. If you notice,
Okay.
it's might be good for looking up reference stuff because these are all reference articles. So not news, but there you go.
Cliff said Scott Manley is supposed to be there for Yuri's night. So okay, be there where? And I don't think I included that in my.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's okay.
Yeah, and
we'll talk about that later,
yeah.
Cliff. Remind me.
And here's one that I've never heard of.
Ooh.
Ecosia.
Ecosia. Okay.
And apparently, this is some Green New Deal type of thing. They buy carbon offsets or whatever, which is just basically a tax on people who want to be able to light their houses. But SpaceX, again, BBC News, they're not pointing to an article. They're just pointing to their Space Exploration News. So they're not pointing to specific articles. They're pointing to news sites.
Another aggregator, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a great list.
It was on the like the top 10 that you found?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somebody out there thought it was worth that. Yeah.
So, hey, even MIT has space exploration news.
Oh.
But so this is a good aggregator, I guess. Ecosia.
Oh, and it says how Ecosia works.
Yeah.
Commands. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 200 million trees and counting. Okay. They've contributed to that.
Yeah.
How many trillion did they say on Earth?
Yeah.
There are more trees on the planet than there are stars in the sky, in the galaxy. Yeah. Probably not in the whole universe, though.
Hey, AOL. Y'all remember AOL?
Was that number 10 on that list?
Yes.
I thought so.
Okay.
I didn't know they had a search engine, AOL.
So it starts.
Because they were a good
they
internet service provider.
Yeah,
right?
They were a full service provider.
Oh, full service. What does that mean?
Basically, it means that they did email, they did search engine, they had their own browser at one point.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Now they don't. Well, they have a browser, but it's Chromium, which means it's Chrome. Basically, just almost every single browser out there, aside from Apple's and Firefox, are written in Chromium.
Oh.
There's a few others that aren't, but
what are you referring to?
Yeah.
Let us know, Daniel. Because the last one was once a rocket starts wobbling, have they ever unwobbled?
Oh, maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that was the last thing.
By blowing it up.
Yeah. Oh, you're back to you. Hang on. Let me get to. I gotta find it. There you are. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is just the last one, and nothing great. Again, they seem to be aggregating a bunch, although they did have a couple of stories here, but we've seen them in other places. The Olivia Munn one and stocks, but otherwise, it looks like they're aggregating.
So once upon a time, I remember that a specific search engine would be better for some things than other, and specifically, I remember Google was better for like relevant, of course, and I think if you wanted something a little different kind of search results, you went over to like Yahoo. Do you remember what that was? And has it changed? Are they all kind of the same now? Well, or is it sort of like one search engine? Could that be better for a particular kind of search? Or
I think
a different one? I don't know.
That they're all chasing relevance. Some of them have become aggregators, it looks like.
Yeah. Which
is good. For some things.
Oh, he's referring to the America Online.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, okay. I think there's a funny in there somewhere. Yeah. It may be eluding me because, kind of tired but busy all day. Jeff opened his business for the first time this week, and
we've been busy.
We've been kind of
we were running at a conference all day today, so
and tomorrow too.
Yeah. So.
All right, so you can use other keywords, of course. Space exploration is good. Science, astronomy, our top three, the ones we love. Rocket launch, you could do a particular thing, Google. Okay. Oh, yay. I forgot about this. There's also Google Scholar for academic journals. Now, see, that's a targeted search engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would call that something more specific to the kind of results you want. So excellent. Thank you so much. Some other things I think of as observatory, planetarium, or an actual name of something like if you wanted to know about Starlink news or European Space Agency news, maybe name it in particular like that. And just whatever, what do you like to delve into? What is the kind of thing that, if you have a kind of an urge to go and say, hey, what's going on in the world of fill in the blank, that would be a great way to go to see the news about them, those things that are really kind of new out there. All right, let me go ahead and find this because we have some stellar events this week as usual. And we're talking about April 4th through April 11th. And it is the beginning of the month. So remember, you can go to skymaps.com and download their free 2-page PDF. I think it's a wonderful resource. Maybe we'll do a quickie on it again someday. Every now and again, we'll bring up the screenshots of it. We'll go to the website now and kind of demonstrate where to find it, what to look for and stuff. But it's got great image of the stars on one side and a whole list of good things to look for on the other side, and some glossary information. I've written dates on it, like I was out in the field for a star party or something, or observing. I've written dates on it, people I've met. I've drawn little pictures of like, oh, hey, we looked at Jupiter and here are where the moons were. You draw a little Jupiter with all the moons in place. I think it's a great way to help you kind of journal what it is you've done. And literally I've gone through and gone, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that, because it has 3 categories of ways to look at things. One being the naked eye, and the next one being with binoculars, and also with a telescope. So I think it's a really great resource. Skymaps.com. And of course, the Farmer's Almanac. It is the beginning of the month again. And I'm not going to read out of the book because I typed it up. They have a little preview part, and it goes in this particular month, April. On the 1st at nightfall, the crescent moon hovers just above the famous Pleiades star cluster, a major treat visible through binoculars. On the 2nd, the moon meets Jupiter before moving on to meet Mars on the 5th. The red planet, still very bright at magnitude 0.5, resumes its direct eastward or leftward motion, leaving the area occupied by Castor and Pollux. I was out there laundry night Wednesday, and I saw these 3 things. I'm like, that's kind of weird. It was Castor and Pollux with Mars right there. So yeah, they're all together. In the east at dawn, Venus moves higher each morning. It is in the east, isn't it? Shining at a maximum brilliance. Get this, of magnitude negative 4.8. That is super bright. At around 5:30 a.m. from the 19th to the 30th, very low Mercury and Saturn are seen below blazing Venus. The waning crescent moon joins the trio of planets on the 25th to the left of Saturn above Mercury, with Venus higher than them all. April 4th, that's tonight, is the first quarter moon. Looks really nice out there here in Southern California. April 5th is the Mars and the moon are in conjunction. In fact, Mars is 2.2 degrees south of the moon, and Pollux is 2.2 degrees, 2.0 degrees north of the moon. April 6th, the Mercury appears stationary. April 8th, Regulus is 2.2 degrees south of the moon. Go ahead and take over because I need water.
Okay. April 10th, the moon is on the equator and is in descending node, and Venus appears stationary. Also, Mercury is 2.1 degrees north of Saturn. I tried to scroll this.
He used his mouse to scroll mine.
Yeah, your computer. Yeah.
Yep.
April 11th is our Friday night show, and
I decided what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I'm going to do another profile.
Yep.
And if you ever wondered where the term bug comes from in computer lingo, I'm going to tell you about that on Friday.
Okay, find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel.
What inspires you the most for the coming week? It's coming. It's almost here. You good for that?
Sure. If you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, April 4th.
Nope.
No,
Sorry. I think it's the 12th. Is it the 12th?
4 plus 7. It's the 11th.
It's the 11th. April 11th. So sorry. It's been a crazy week.
And we're going to be doing a profile on who?
Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. She was in the Navy Reserves. Thank you. And what a story she has. I did a real quickie look up on her during like my break lunch today. And amazing person. I think you're going to really enjoy this. I'm going to really enjoy looking it up. So I saw some comments. Go ahead.
Dawn says, great show. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank
See you next
you,
week.
Dawn.
And Cliff, have a great week. Thanks, Cliff.
So yeah, Naomi and Cliff and Dawn was here. Daniel was here. And we saw Janie earlier, right?
Yep.
We missed Scott again.
Yep.
He was here last week, though.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's always a better show when you're here to look up things and ask us questions and find out about. Oh, good. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You have a great week too, and we'll talk about Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. I can't wait.
Yep.
Have a good week, folks. Good night. We'll see you
night.
later. There it is. Bye.
Push the button.
Yeah.